Hey, cool. And I remembered to turn my microphone on before I started. Interesting. So, hi, long time no see. It's been a minute. If you're not watching on the stream because nobody's on the stream yet, but if you're watching on YouTube, welcome to the video. I'm Mike. I'm a writer, and on these videos, on this is my Twitch stream. I'm writing a novel. Just that. Eventually, some people may show up for chat, and we talk about writing and books and media and life and the universe and everything, which is a book reference, of course. Yeah, all right. So, that shouldn't be there. All right. It's been a while since I streamed. Actually, it's been about a week since I streamed, and that's because I've been swamped with other things. Some of them stream related, some of them not. Biggest news, I guess, is that I've set up a Discord server, but I'll probably mention that more once people show up. We'll see, or if not, at the end of the stream, end of the video, I'll talk about the Discord server. Don't actually. I do have Discord running. Let me check on some things while I'm here, actually. Hey, cool. So that's working. I wonder if I can. Should probably set up. Oh, I don't want to do that in the middle of a stream. Oh well. I was going to set up a scene on OBS to show everybody the Discord, but hey, Chris, how's it going? You already know about the Discord server. Haha, I don't have to tell you. Hey yo. Yeah, I was I was planning on starting my stream, about an hour ago, but my sister-in-law bought my son a desk and desk chair that are sort of a fancy version of IKEA, I guess, or a upscale version of IKEA. And we had started putting the thing together last night and didn't get finished last night. And I had told him that I would finish it today. By the time he got home from school, he could use it for his homework. But then he stayed home this morning, so he wasn't feeling well. Can't send images in meme channel. What? Okay. That's something I can probably do something about. It's just you and me in there at the moment, buddy. Let me see. General chat. Oh, you know what? That's because you haven't assigned yourself any utility roles in the roles channel. If you pop over to the roles channel, you choose the sections. You got to choose something, otherwise you can't do much of anything on the Discord. So there's the readers, writers, book clubbers, and critique group. So at the very least, choose readers. Click on SpongeBob, and then you'll have access to other sections. There's lots of other sections. I set it up so that people who have just joined and haven't also joined into a sort of a sub community or a section of the server can't do a lot of stuff. Once you sign in to as a reader or a writer or a book clubber or a critique group or all of the above, then you have access to other sections, and you should be able to post images and things. I locked down the the just joined role so that you can't do much of anything. I don't want new people. I don't want to get raided, basically. I did a bunch of reading. I've never used Discord before, really. I have it. I've installed it. I joined a couple of servers. I haven't found much use for it, to be honest. Hey, you're online on the Discord. I see you. Haha. Nice yellow name, by the way. I like the yellow. Did you try out a few different colors? Or did you know? Did you know that yellow was the one you wanted? The golden Chrisichu. Alright. So I still haven't gotten Frank into this building. I haven't written anything on it since my last stream, a week or so. I've been swamped. I was just saying just before you got here that I've spent an awful lot of time setting up that Discord server. This is a stumbling block of mine, that I tend to do things the hard way when I don't need to. I know that Discord server templates exist. I know that they're a thing. I know you can download them and basically have a server built for you. Then you can tinker with it to make it do exactly what you want. I know this, but did I go find a template that would have done what I wanted it? Oh, of course not. I had to start from scratch and build everything manually by hand. I mean, on the plus side now, I really know how everything fits together. I understand what's going on with all of my channels and all of my permissions and all of my roles. And most of my bots, I followed a tutorial that walked me through a handful of useful bots, and what the guy said made sense, so I went ahead and installed those bots. I don't know all the commands for the bots yet, or even most of the commands for the bots. A lot of them are just automatic. It's, fire and forget. Things like blocking raids and doing some auto moderation stuff for naughty words and things. This is something I'm still considering as well, because if it's a community for writers and readers, I'm not comfortable restricting people's choice of words. But at the same time, I know a lot of people are bothered by certain types of words. I'm not one of them, but I know a lot of people are. and I want it to be inclusive and welcoming to everybody. And as somebody who curses like a pirate with scurvy, um, well, maybe not with scurvy. I don't curse with a lack of energy or teeth, but as someone who curses a lot, I'm perfectly okay in situations where I shouldn't or can't most of the time. Hey, silent author. Long time no see. Oh, so you're now a reader. There we go. Um, See if you can, if you want to. You've already done. You're way ahead of me. Uh, that. So yeah. All right, Chris, you are well on your way. Hey, Nini, how's it going? Everybody's stopping by today. It's a bit late for you, isn't it? So, Chris, not only did you have the first comment, I mean, aside from my test comments and stuff, but the first non-admin, non-server owner comment, but you've also posted the first meme, and it's a good one. Well done. Um, so for the other, there we go. And you're posting the link. Lord, somebody is on track for a moderator position, which would help me out a lot once we get people going. I haven't I haven't announced the Discord server publicly yet because I wanted to do that first here and give you guys a chance to get in first. Oh, early. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that makes sense. Right. Mm. You joined the chat on one of my evening write-in ones, right? My evening, you were just getting ready for supper, but it was late for me, like almost midnight. Right. So now it's early. Oh, okay. So that'll work out nice because this is my usual time. I'm usually coming up on my final hour of streaming about now. I usually end at around noon my time, go have some lunch. No, it's not sad. Not when you've got Twitch channels that are communities of friends who chat and talk about stuff that you're interested in. That's not sad at all. It's unproductive, but it's not sad. All of the productivity gurus will tell you that you should absolutely, under no circumstances whatsoever, ever go on any kind of social media or check your phone first thing in the morning. You should get up, you should do yoga or stretch or get moving, get your blood flowing or something along those lines first. Eat something, and then do productive stuff. Get stuff done that you need to get done. Get into work right away. Don't check emails. Don't if you need to write, write. If you need to edit a video or whatever, do that. You don't check emails. You don't go on Facebook or Twitch or Discord. Discord. Hey, Nini, who's Phantom Evil Paradox? Is that Silent Author? 1942? I bet you it is. So yeah, you'll want to pop into the roles channel and choose what parts you want to take part in: reader, writer, book club, critique. They're all fairly self-explanatory. I may add more roles or more sections or do different things later. But if you plan to talk about books you're reading and do suggestions and stuff, then reader is a good choice. If you're wanting to be part of the book club, well, because Silent Author, there's only 3 people in the chat, and now there are 3 people on the Discord. Process of elimination. Uh, I'm psycho. I don't know about psychic. Sidekick? Psychic sidekick? That would be kind of disturbing. I don't want a psychic sidekick. Not someone who can read my mind anyway. Nobody wants to read my mind. Yeah, the book club at some point. I'm hoping to get a book club off the ground so we can all read books together and talk about them. And critique. if for anyone who wants to be in the critique section, everyone will get their own channel where they can post their... Oh, hello. I just heard a... Ah, there we go. I heard a tink on my headphones there. That would have been Nini. This is cool watching real time as everyone sort of navigates the server and does stuff. I spent a lot of time setting up this server. Hey! It's my old pal Brett. Hello, Brett. Oh, that was the ding. That was the ding. I set up alerts. I wasn't looking at the screen. Mr. Paddock. That's the tink. The tinker bell. You tinked my bell. Ah. Ah. I don't... Can I... Yes, it is. It is evening there. It's coming up on noon here. Hello, hello. Welcome to the chat. Hey, everybody. Say hi to one of my oldest friends, Brett. Paddock. Well, you go back to lurking now. You chat. You chat with people. You chat with the friends. You make the friends. Brett and I go back. Oh, how long has it been, dude? Oh, yeah, it would have been 93, 94. I'm set up. Or do you mean your microphone? You don't need a microphone to chat. You can type. Ooh, 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 ooh. Speaking of typing. Hold on. Da-da-da. Da-da-da. Oh. Look what I got. It's backwards because my camera is reversed, but this is the IKBC F410 with cherry blue switches, which I don't like very much, but for now, it's better than the browns I was using. Yeah. I dove down the rabbit hole of mechanical keyboards the other day, and it doesn't look like I'll be coming up for air anytime soon. I don't like the clicky. I don't like the clicky. I don't. I really don't. I'm hoping to watch it grow over time. As I said, I haven't announced it on any of my other platforms yet. I haven't mentioned it on Facebook. I know a lot of writers on Facebook. I don't know how many of them are going to be into a Discord server. They may surprise me. I don't know. I tend to be behind the curve on a lot of this stuff and ahead of it on some others, but we'll see. Like I said, I wanted to announce it here first because you guys get first dibs. Chris already had first dibs on just about everything he could get his hands on. So yeah, I will once the stream ends and I upload to Facebook or to YouTube, I'll pop onto Facebook. Probably my evening, everyone else's morning, and do a post about the server. Oh no, my camera is I'm I'm streaming with a Sony A7 III. Yeah, Facebook is old people's zone, but hey, you know. Oh yeah, because I'm full screen now. Yes, you can. Yeah, ooh, and the autofocus is really good now. I'm in HD. All right, and I've got get back to here. I'm using this to switch around between scenes and to enable and disable stuff. I can take my head away. I can put it back. Woohoo! All sorts of toys and tools and things. A wave to the... Hello, silent author. Also a writer. So we got two writers and... Oh, Chris has disappeared on us. Oh, well. Just logged out. Okay, where's the welcome? Who's there? This server's cool. Ah, Phantom Evil Paradox. Silent author, you are making your mark on a new channel. There you go. So hopefully it's kind of neat and cool that when you choose a role in the roles channel, you suddenly have extra sections. I think that's neat. I'm kind of weird though that way. Yeah. I should say, I mean, I don't know who all is listening at the moment. I've kind of lost track, but 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got 4 people I know. Okay. And an extra viewer somewhere. Might be female writer. She's always lurking. Um, if your Discord account is less than a day old, it will auto ban you, and then I'll have to manually unban you. Raid prevention. Yep, you did. I saw that. You can also you can pick multiple roles, by the way. You can be reader, writer, book clubber, and critiquer. You can choose any or all of the 4. I should probably specify that in the message here. Here, I can edit things. Can you hear my keyboards clicky clicking? There we go. I will check that out. I used to have grade 8 students too. I consider myself a retired teacher now. We'll see. I may have to go back to the classroom once I get my visa and work permit and green cardy stuff sorted, and then I can work legally, etc. I may go back into the classroom. I may tutor privately. Oh, yeah. Brett and I both we met in at the University of Regina in an education faculty, EPS 100, which I sometimes attended. It was a different time. And I wore an onion on my belt because that was the fashion of the time. Yep, I've been teaching for almost 20. I started a bit later. Bio as in biology? That was the science I dropped in high school. Memorizing the names of too many prairie grasses, I found it a bit dull. I mean, biochemistry, some of the I mean, I dabble a little bit. I'm interested. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the French of times, it was the English of times. It was a time when young children were taught in machinery on a regular basis. All right. Medical school. Wow. I thought briefly as a younger person. I thought, excuse me. I thought briefly about the possibility of becoming a doctor or some sort of medical professional, but it turns out I don't like the insides of people any better than I like their outsides most of the time. I shouldn't be a misanthrope on my social media platforms, I suppose. It'd be antisocial. What I often say is that I despise people. I love persons. I like persons a lot, but I despise people, groups of people. People en masse tend to be nasty and horrible, and I don't like them. But individual people I like quite a lot. Why did they give him detention? No, that's not okay. That's not cool at all. Nope, I'm not. I'm not having that. Oh, Jesus. You know what I call it? You know what I call it? I call it white school administrators with a stick up their ass, denying someone their cultural heritage. That's what I call it, but PA. So, yeah. Oh, and here I go with the phlegm again. I don't know what's up with my throat lately. It's been really hard to get voice work done because I've been the whole time, which makes editing a nasty pain in the butt. Yeah, no, it was absolutely brilliant. That's phenomenal. It shows all of the characters and characteristics that we're supposed to be encouraging in students. I can't think of any of the words at the moment. All of my jargon gland is depreciated since I haven't been having staff meetings. But yeah, self motivation, self starting, um, independent thinking. What's the thing where kids do stuff on their own without having to be told? That's the one I want. I can't think of the word for that at the moment. I'm not wording very good yet today. This cup of coffee that I'm trying to drink now is cold because I had just made it when I got pulled into finishing a desk that we started last night and building a desk, and yeah, parts of it had been put together in the wrong spots. Genius hour project. Oh, jeez. We're all working for Google now, are we? That's a Google thing, isn't it? What is it? The 10% time or 20% time or something like that? Yeah. Oh, what is there is a word for that personality trait, that quality of character where someone does things on their own with their own motivation, of their own volition, without having to be told. They do extra, they go further, and I can't think of what the word is. I saw a news article talking that mentioned Facebook in passing, something to do with tech companies, whatever, or Facebook, who has rebranded themselves as Meta. I'm like, well, no, Facebook hasn't. The company that owns Facebook and Instagram and everything else has rebranded themselves or renamed themselves Meta, but Facebook is still Facebook. Inaccurate reporting. Yeah. Oh, I suppose. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I want this one. I suppose I should probably try and get Frank into this damn building so he can talk to our unlikely named drug distributor. I'm curious how well you guys can hear my clicky clicky keys on my keyboard when I type, but I guess I'll have to type to test that out. All right, let me let me see where I was here. Do, 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 do. So I have him reverting back to excess formality when he's stressed or under pressure because that's what he grew up with. Yeah. No, I think I'm planning. Yeah, go ahead, silent author, by all means. That's what this is for, really. It's certainly not for me to write, because that hasn't been happening. What was I gonna say? Ah, yes, I just got this keyboard, and I'm already planning to replace it. Shh, don't tell my wife. It's this full-size keyboard with a numpad. I've realized that I don't actually use my numpad that much, or I don't need to. I don't do a lot of data entry. I can use the number key row for the odd number I have to pop in when I'm just regular typing. And it takes up too much space. It's just the awkward placement of this when I need to reach for my trackball. Having that a bit closer would be more comfortable for me, I think. So I'm planning. Okay, off you go then. Explain away. Um, I'm planning on getting a Keychron C1, which has hot swappable switches, so I can. I'm gonna order it with the Gateron Browns, which are tactile but not clicky, and hopefully they have enough sort of resistance for my heavy ass fingers. I realized when I was watching mechanical keyboard videos and reviews on switches and things that they talk about like key activation and bottoming out your keycaps and bottoming out your keys. I've never hit a key on a keyboard that didn't bottom out. I don't think I type like I'm fighting it in a cage. Um, so I want to get some fairly heavy switches, but I don't want to have to press too hard just to activate it. I don't want to fatigue my hands. So I was thinking, research tells me that the drop Halo Trues have a 55 gram activation force. I think it's 55. It's about the same as the Browns and these clicky blues and stuff. It's in the same neighborhood. But right after the activation point, the springs really kick in, and it's about 100 gram bottom out force. So there's this sort of springy, boingy, boingy feeling to them, apparently. And I think that is exactly what I want. So buy this keyboard and then swap out for different, much more expensive switches. Might be my Christmas present to myself. Okay, here we go. In the timeline, the main hero parents are dead. So the main hero, yes, Rose. Okay, time travels and trying to save them, but decide. Okay, so yeah, I got that. So I was kind of wondering how you were gonna handle the time travel thing because generally speaking, from a sort of a quasi scientific, well, not scientific, but from a logical perspective, if you're dealing with alternate timelines or branching timelines or whatever, then the character's personal timeline will be what it is. So once the parents are lost in the original timeline, that can't change, but the character could occupy an alternate timeline. But that character would also exist in that timeline already, unless you found a timeline where that character had died, but the parents had survived, in which case she could sort of occupy that space again. Possibly. That might be interesting. But okay, what was the writing question part? Answering questions that haven't been asked yet. For those of you who aren't aware, Silent Author 1942 is writing a story in which the main character has the power of time travel. The main character is a supervillain. So sort of anti-hero, I guess. If it's the main character and the reader is kind of rooting for them, then they're not really the villain. They're not the antagonist. They're the protagonist. But if they're doing questionable things or morally gray, then we would call it an anti-hero. Yeah, time travel's tricky. Time travel is awkward. We all travel through time. It's just that it's one way and at a regular pace for the most part. I had to explain to my 11-year-old yesterday what the phrase "I'll knock you into next week" actually means. Like comatose. He was like, "Oh, good, no school for a week." I'm like, "Yeah, but you won't know that you're missing school." Yeah, the DC. To be honest, DC hasn't really done much better with time travel than anyone else. Um, I haven't actually watched Looper yet. I sat down to watch it a couple of times and then sort of didn't end up having time. But okay, I thought Rose was your main character. No, that's fine. That's fine. There's no sorries here. Comics are where a lot of the time travel stuff has been dealt with the most, actually. I'm at a bit of a loss to think of too many novels that deal with it. Wells's Time Machine, I guess. Okay, yeah, no, and my apologies, Silent Author. I most of our conversations about your story have been about Rose. So it's his Rose we're talking about, right? The with the dead parents and the traveling back to save them and all that stuff. Yeah, okay, I think so. But okay, I I know this is, yeah, it could be just because this is the section you're working on at the moment, but I'm going to suggest that you might have a much closer tie to Rose than you do to the other character. Possibly not. It might just be that this is the section you're working on, but I have that feeling. Okay, so which character? I mean, you. So Zircon is the character in question. Is that Zircon? Okay, so Zircon knows the time travel changes have happened and are happening because gaining knowledge from two timelines. Okay. Character in question is living in timeline A and slowly losing touch with reality. Okay, so Rose knows the time travel is happening. It's happening because Rose is gaining knowledge from two timelines. But Rose made the changes, right? This is why I haven't written a time travel story. Things get all twisted up and confused. Okay. So Rose, yeah, but Rose will know the time. If Rose made the changes, then Rose personal time. Oh, so Zircon also has time travel. So both of these characters are bopping around in time and changing things. Sorry, I just had a Terminator Armageddon flashback. Um, yeah, it's probably more than a mind map because you've got multiple timelines. There's a piece of software called Aeon Timeline that I bought, but I've never actually used it because I've never had a timeline complicated enough that I needed to. I will. I bought it for a reason. I've got a storyline that I really want to keep track of a bunch of stuff, and I'm. Hmm, is now the time for that? No, just give it. I'll come back to this in a minute. There's a project with concurrent parallel stories that I'm working on that I'm gonna want that, but okay. Okay, fair enough. So, but they both have the ability. They both have that ability. Um, yeah, I don't know if Eon Timeline will be able to handle multiple timelines like this, like alternate timelines, and then going back and something changed, etc., etc., and linking between different parts on the same timeline, possibly. But it might be something you could look into. Um, Professional versus amateur. Uh, let's see. It is a satisfying sound. Can you guys hear the sound of my keyboard when I type? I'm not sure if it's being filtered out by my noise reduction. Yeah, it seems to be filtered out. Okay. Okay, so Rose is a professional. Zircon is just learning. Now, this is not free. It's available for Windows, iOS, and macOS. There's a free demo, 14-day free trial. And oh, that's more expensive than I remember it being. $65. Hmm. There. That's a $65 timeline app that a lot of people swear by. I've not used it enough to say yay or nay on its utility for this, but now it seems to me that this story of yours is going to get so complicated that you'll need to sort of map things out visually at some point, whether that's in a mind map or in like a timeline app like Eon Timeline, or I'm sure there are free timeline apps, but I'm aware. Sorry. Geez. Sorry about that. I'm aware that we still haven't gotten to the question part of the writing question. So, all right. Well, this doesn't look very nice, but let me see if I can find a link to it. There we go. Here's a free open source timeline app as well. Yeah, this link will do. So does Twine? I haven't looked at it yet, but does Twinery has a timeline? I guess it would have to have a timeline, yeah. Of course, the first thing that comes to mind with that is about Twine is it monetizable? The timeline screwed up. Yes, yes. The timeline needs to be screwed up. I mean, if they're both making changes, if they're both making changes to the timeline independently of each other, then okay. So not only will the timeline be so. I guess the question that needs to be answered first is, so you've got multiple timelines. If someone goes back and makes a change, are they then not just selecting a different alternate timeline? So you can't change, yeah, generally in most time travel scenarios, you can't change a timeline. You can move to a new timeline. So like if you go back and make a change, save somebody from dying, then you're now on that time, on a timeline where they didn't die. There's still that timeline where they did. You haven't removed that from existence. It's already happened. It's in your past. It's part of your personal timeline. So you've just, if you then jump back, you're jumping. If you jump back to your present. Okay, so let me see. I'll. It's a bit of a brain bender. Okay, but time is analog, really. There's ever finer divisions of time. So the possibility of both of them making a change at exactly the same moment is impossible. One will be a picosecond before the other. It's from a logical. If you want to be absolutely clinically logical about this, then it all falls apart. So we have to fudge things a little bit. So it comes down to what works for you aesthetically, what feels right, and lets you tell an interesting and entertaining story. But at a basic logical level, so you're traveling through time. Am I going the right way? No, I go this way. Okay. If you're traveling through time, you're traveling along new. Okay. Here, tell you what. I'm gonna go full screen again. So you're traveling through. My hands are out of focus. Okay. If you're traveling through time, la 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 la. Oh, you want to go back to here and change something. So you go back to here, but your personal timeline is still progressing. You're experiencing time. But your personal timeline is now overlapping this. Does that make sense? And then you make the change, boink, and you've switched to a different timeline now because that change is made. This timeline still exists. It's in your past. So you exist, therefore that timeline exists. Then you jump back to your present time, but your present time is now the present time in this new timeline. You haven't gone back to the old timeline. You're still in this new timeline. So every change you make is you changing your personal timeline. So each character who's changing time is changing their own personal timeline. So you have to kind of imagine this infinite number of timelines covering every possible basically every possible eventuality, every subatomic particle spinning this way, having this spin instead of that spin, every random event that could have gone differently. This is if we are assuming a non-deterministic universe. It's possible that everything that happens has to happen, and there's only one way it could happen based on the initial circumstances and cause and effect and all that stuff. A deterministic universe, which means we can't change anything. There's everything happens exactly the way it has to happen, and there's no other alternative. There's only one timeline. But that's no good for your story, so forget it. We have free choice, but that personal timeline is just now built up of pieces of multiple possible timelines. Yeah? Which means effectively, when Zircon changes something, Zircon is now in a different timeline where that change happened. Disney plus Loki, okay. Yeah, all right. And the whole Marvel Infinity Stone time travel thing as well. It's a bit mind-bendy. It's a bit brain-breaky. And there's not much we can do about it. That's just the nature of the beast. So if Zircon changes something, then the specific instance of Rose won't change. That new timeline that Zircon is in will have a Rose who may have almost all of the same exact experiences as the previous Rose, but it's a different Rose now, technically. So in all of these amazing... No, that's fine. Not yet. No, Chris, no, not yet. You can see... Oh, you can't see it. Hold on. You can see he's still trying to charm his way past the door guy and his dog. So, silent author, for your story, these are decisions you're going to have to make as to how logically consistent you want to keep things versus how smoothly you want the story to progress. I would suggest that the new Rose after Zircon changes something is functionally the same as the old Rose for all intents and purposes. And so you don't probably need to worry about it too much, or at all for that matter. You could just have them jumping around and it's the new Rose reacting now, but The reader doesn't need to know that, and you don't even need to think about that, because the new Rose and the old Rose are almost identical, more identical than any set of identical twins that have ever been born. I mean, if you wanted to get into the guts of time travel stuff, um, yeah, if it, hey, Tudor, how's it going, dude? Hmm. Chris, do you have the link to the Discord handy for Tudor? Tudor, we have a Discord now. Haha. Now we can chat all the time. Um, what do I think? I don't think anything at the moment. I haven't read the rest of the story. I don't know if that's a satisfying ending given everything else or not. The idea of the villain sacrificing herself to make things right, that redemption arc, that definitely tells me that she's the main character of your story. Not the hero, but the main character. I'm glad you did stop in to say hello. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to hang out. Thanks, Chris. Chris is in charge of Discord promotions. Um, yeah, the fact that yeah, one of the main. I would say, honestly, if yeah, okay, it's possible. It's possible that there's more than one. We've only ever talked about this one though, so. And given that the book ends with her sacrificing herself to, save the world, make things right, all that stuff, that tells me that she's the focus. She's the main character arc. She's got the redemption arc. She's got the hero's journey. She's got the sacrifice at the end. She's the one the reader's going to care the most about, probably, because she's the one that you seem to care the most about as well. So, now if you've got, this is another issue that I run into sometimes. If you've got a handful of main characters, what can happen is your story loses focus, and the reader doesn't know who they're following, whose story they're reading, whose story they're in, and that can be a problem. That things get muddled and muddy that way. It's it's doable. It's imminently doable. Robert Jordan did a wonderful job in the Wheel of Time series of doing exactly that. Huge cast of characters, all of them sort of main characters. Okay. Oh, there's only two characters in the book, or two main characters, two active characters. You must have supporting characters. Um. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's. Did you read that too, Brett? That's one of my favorites. Tad is one of my favorite writers, and Otherland was glorious. Um, Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn. I think I don't know which I like better. I like them both a lot. Wow. I didn't know you read that. I don't know if you're aware or not, but Tad Williams live streams on Facebook and does his. I didn't know you had a Thargo character. We haven't gamed together in a very long time. You'll have to excuse my old feeble brain. Two actors and then lots of supporting characters. Yeah. So Wheel of Time has a cast of, I would say, we've got the three boys, Matt, Perrin, and Rand. Oh no! Yeah, okay, yeah. I didn't make the connection. I haven't read Otherland in a long time, and I kind of only really remember sort of themes and character names, not so much. Um, Rand, Matt, Perrin, uh, Nynaeve, and Elaine, and Galad, and so yeah, about 14 or 15 main characters in Wheel of Time. Uh, he does roll around in his scenery a bit more than a lot of people. I don't mind so much. I'm not in a hurry when I'm if I'm reading a Tad Williams book. I'm not in a hurry. I'm not going anywhere for a while anyway. So Might as well enjoy it. It harkens back to Tolkien's style. He was very descriptive and in no big hurry to get anywhere in particular as well. It's not a pace that suits a lot of modern readers. I'm aware of this. I don't recommend Lord of the Rings in book form to younger readers these days because they just don't have the culture for it. I mean, not in the uncultured swine kind of way, but that's not what they're used to. They're not accustomed to that sort of pace and style. Yeah, it is what it is. The movies are great and make up a lot for the lack. And having watched the movies, reading the books becomes a lot more doable for those younger people who didn't grow up with slow plodding books. And Tad Williams the same. I was saying, I don't know if I finished the thought or not because I lose track of things, but Tad live streams on Facebook and does live readings of stuff he's working on and stuff that you may not have encountered. I haven't popped in very often, but it's nice. It's nice to see readers that you enjoy being decent human beings. Zeryl's going to make a deal, but Rose knocks him out and makes the deal. That's going to depend on what your time and space lord god dude decides to do. Honestly, with time travel, multiple timeline, parallel universe-y kind of stuff, it's entirely up to you how you deal with it. I think of it on a scale of science fiction to fantasy, like logical science. Rules of the known universe that we have cannot violate them, whatever, which makes time travel real hard. To all the way to because it's magic. Woo! Magic. Woo! So, up to you where you place things on there. The big question to ask yourself as a writer, is to think about your readers, and think what's going to be satisfying for that. Have you set up your stakes? Are there things at stake? Are there consequences at play here that the reader is going to care about? Have you set that up properly? And then is your solution to the problem a satisfying resolution to the dilemma you've set up, to the stakes and the consequences? Is the reader going to be emotionally invested in what happens and then satisfied with what happens to solve the problems? And when I say satisfied, I don't mean happy necessarily. I'm a satisfying ending to a book is not necessarily happy. In fact, some of the more satisfying endings are not. 1984 does not end on a happy note. It's a satisfying ending, though. It solves the problem of the book in a way that's true to the message of the book, to the tone of the book, to the style of the book, all of that. So if there are going to be more dangerous problems in the future, I assume Rose needs to be around for the future books, or you want her to be around for the future books. So then yes, there's going to have to be a Rose. If she has existed, then she exists somewhere in some timeline. If you are going to go with a consistent timeline where you can jump in and out of the same timeline and make changes, and that's effectively the same timeline, which I think you kind of have to do based on how your story is going, then Rose exists somewhere. So if nothing else, Zircon can go and find her at some point and recruit some version of Rose to help with the bigger, scarier problems down the road, and they can team up and all that stuff, argue about who's the headliner and who's the sidekick. Time Vengers assemble. At the risk of being derivative, I suppose, but yeah. Yeah. Yeah, well, there's, like I said, if you're doing alternative timelines, then there's an infinite number of Roses. Whatever that means in practical terms, I don't know, but there's an infinite number of Roses on an infinite number of timelines. And if Zircon can figure out what he's doing well enough to do it properly, he can dip into one of those and grab a Rose, and off they go. The other thing is that if Rose has the ability to time travel and Zircon has the ability to time travel, and this is not something everyone can do, then all of those infinite Roses and all of those infinite Zircons can also time travel, given that they figure out how to do it. Just like every night has its dawn, and like every cowboy sings a sad, sad song. Yeah, no, I mean, sad endings, like unhappy endings, can be enormously satisfying. I mean, yeah, Poison. Was that Poison? No, hold on. Was that Poison? That was their ballad, wasn't it? Yeah. I haven't got a copyright strike yet, so, yeah. Um, the multiverse. Yeah, that's cool. There are lots of stories with multiverses, but it's up to you as the writer to decide how you want to deal with some of the. Yeah, but only a few people can time travel in your novel, sure. But if you've got a multiverse with infinite timelines, effectively, I mean, if you have multiple timelines, then you logically have to also have infinite timelines. Every place in which any kind of a difference could happen spawns a new timeline. A piece of dust bounces this way instead of that way. New timeline. Good luck telling the difference, but new timeline. That means there's an infinite number of Roses, which means if those two people, Rose and Zircon, have the ability to time travel, then there's an infinite number of people, all of them named Rose or Zircon, who have the ability to time travel. They don't need to be in your story. There's no reason for them to be. Although, yeah, see, this is why time travel, if you approach it from a too logical point of view, mindset, if you're too logical about it, then it all falls apart because it doesn't make sense logically at the root of it. If you've got an infinite number of timelines, infinite number of Roses, and Rose has the ability to time travel, then there will be an infinite number of Roses zipping around the timelines, making changes and doing things, and you'd think they'd bump into each other at some point. Although, no, they couldn't because everyone has their own individual timeline. Yeah. Each one of them could go to a timeline with another Rose. There would be a timeline with like a bajillion Roses somewhere. So then you could have it require more energy or less energy to jump to a new timeline, to time travel, based on how similar or different, how divergent that timeline is from your own. Yeah. Turns out something she can do, or some quality of hers, or some knowledge she likely has, likely like an innate quality of Rose, is necessary in order to defeat the new big baddie or whatever. You might also, okay. So another thing you could do, you could play around with, is you were talking about gaining knowledge from multiple timelines. You could have echoes where people who time travel can tap into their analogs on other timelines in some way, where they get sort of impressions of things, or like intuition-y feelings about what might happen next based on their connection with their alternative selves in alternative timelines. Maybe that's something that Rose develops that Zircon needs to solve the problem. Throwing it out there. So, yeah, the only advice I can give you on how to navigate this stuff is to make a few key decisions about how you want time travel to work, and then stick to them. Plan things out very carefully. Chart them out, make a timeline, on paper even, just draw little boxes and color code some things and figure out what's happening when. Make sure you have all of your events lined up the way they need to be so that they make sense. Continuity is going to be an issue. So you need to be careful, be systematic, almost pedantic about how you deal with the events in your story. as soon as you involve time travel. Anyone who reads this, well, not anyone who reads this, but a lot of people who read this are going to pick apart the time travel element of it and be looking for continuity errors or things that like, oh, this can't happen because that didn't happen. That doesn't make any sense. That kind of stuff. Oh, excuse me. Oh. It's been dusty around here these days. That's probably why I'm phlegmy more than usual. All right. Rose already traveled the multiverse for book 2, but that happened in 1. So in book 1, she pops into book 2 briefly. I like that. That's clever. That's neat. In One Piece, the long-running anime series and manga, there's a character who has time travel ability, but in that setup, time travel only goes one way, forward. You can jump ahead a certain amount of time. So she sends a bunch of people 20 years in the future at one point. Spoilers if you haven't gotten that far in the series or whatever, but minor spoiler for a minor thing. Well, yeah, it's not really a reveal or a twist or anything. So yeah, that's clever. I like that. That's cute. Oh no, for the spoiler on One Piece. Are you watching One Piece? Did I just screw? I'm sorry. It's I wouldn't consider it a minor spoil. It doesn't spoil anything. I'm trying to think now how I'm an anime only person. I haven't read the manga, so I'm not sure how they deal with it in the books in the manga. But if you are watching One Piece, where are you at? Where have you gotten to so far? If you're One Piecing it, let me think now. How much did I just ruin for you, if anything? I don't think that's going to affect anything or diminish your enjoyment of anything. Episode 32 of the anime. So, okay, so this happens in episode 950 something, 960 something, I think. And I don't think it's going to affect your enjoyment of anything down the road. And the only reason I even thought of it as a potential spoiler after I said it, of course, was because that's more or less where the anime is up to now. It's maybe 15, 20, 30, within 30 episodes of what's been published so far for the anime. So it occurred to me that people might not have seen it who are actually keeping up to date and watching on the regular. But no, it's an important plot element in the sense that it lets a bunch of other stuff happen. No, it did not. You're just being silly now. It did not break your heart. It's not even a spoiler, really. The character who has this ability, when the first time we meet her, she's about ready. She mentions using it. She's about to use it, and then doesn't, and then eventually does. And it's all good. Not a big surprise. It's not a big surprise reveal kind of a thing. Jude, are you still there? Nope. Okay. I was gonna say that. Oh, I think you'll be okay. I think you'll be okay. If we have some new chatters in the chat. Feel free to pop in and say hi and introduce yourself. By the way, we're a welcoming group. Oh, I want No, I want that and that and that. Okay. Now. No, I did not. Okay, so that is a bot. I I don't know how many of the new people in the chat are bots or not, but Animosi is a bot. And Dinneretta, are you a bot? Not coming up unless... I know you're not a bot, Mr. Paddock. Frank hasn't done anything and no one's died again. No. Yeah, that is what a bot would say. We might have to give you that that test from Blade Runner. Make sure. Graphmau. Graphmau sounds like a bot to me. Yeah, Graphmau is a bot. I'm streaming. Hi. What can I do for you? I don't know. Why? What do you want? Yeah, yeah, we'll see. Soonish. Maybe half an hour. Yeah, Graphmau is a bot. Yes, that was my wife. I told her I was going live, going to stream. Who are you talking to? Streaming. All right. Ban Graphmau. Bye, Graphmau. Well, yeah, no, there's a name for it, named after the guy in the story that invented it, I think, the whatever test. But Dinneretta, I know, well, I don't know. I assume you're not a bot. Say hi. My wife? Summer. Well, that's her English name. Do. No. What? What? Oh, that's not what I want. There, okay. I still don't know where stuff is quite often. Dinneretta is not a bot, I don't think. Yes, like a time of the year, only capitalized because it's now a proper noun. Yeah. All right, well, we don't need that. That's... Close that. All right. I don't know that I'm a legendary sly dog. Why? Because I'm married? Lots of people are married. Well, okay, yes. Now, well, I guess Dinneretta is not going to join us in the chat. Now, Dinneretta, when I opened up Dinneretta's profile there to see if they were a bot. It was all in Japanese. So, Dinareta, konnichiwa. Genki desu ka? How's my accent? It's been a while. Dinareta might not speak much English. I don't know. Happy as a clown. Yes, clowns are traditionally traditionally happy. The tears of a clown. Yeah. Are there people named Spring, Fall, and Winter? I don't know. Yes, yes. Konnichiwa and Ogenki desu ka are Japanese. I used to speak Japanese much better than I do now, but I still know a few things. I can still say hi and stuff. Autumn is a fairly common English name, yeah. Uh, Summer and autumn tend to be more common. I don't know that I've ever seen anyone named Spring, and I don't know of anyone named Winter, although in China, English names tend to be a bit goofy sometimes. I've known people named Icy. I've known people named... about 5 or 6 months after I came to China, I decided that when I arrived here, my apartment was rented on my behalf by my employer. My internet was through my employer. Basically, I relied on my employer for every aspect of my life, which I wasn't comfortable with. I don't like putting all of my eggs in a very small basket like that. So about 6 months in, I found some roommates, some flatmates to share an apartment with, and got my own place rather than staying in my employer-provided apartment. And I was the only non-Chinese person in that apartment out of 5 or 6 people. It was a big apartment, like a 6 or 7 bedroom apartment, and the one guy was subletting rooms in it. And I was the only non-Chinese person there. The guy who was renting the rooms out spoke English reasonably well, and one of the other flatmates spoke English pretty well, and a third, one of the girls was learning English. She was studying English. So yeah, it was Bert was the guy who was renting the apartment out, and then Joe. Joe is his surname, his family name. I can't remember the rest of his name now. I just called him Joe. He went by Joe for his English name, but that which was his family name, Joe. But he wanted me to call him Silence. He introduced himself. You can call me Silence. That's my English name. I was like, that's a dumb English name, Silence. And I sort of played around with his family name, and I started calling him Porridge, which Joe, with a different tone and a different character, also means porridge. Or not also means, but Joe is the name Joe and porridge are different words, but phonetically similar. So I called him Porridge for a while, but he didn't like that very much, so I just called him Joe. And then Stacy was the woman who was learning English, and she was using materials, these books called Crazy English, so I called her Crazy Stacy for a while. She liked that. Brett, you don't no, stop apologizing, dude. This is a community of people to chat about whatever we chat about when we chat about it. There's no annoying or whatever. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. That link is no, 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 no. You stop apologizing. That link, I'm going to check that out. That looks like it might be a lot of fun to play around with. And who knows, maybe I can monetize it, which is something that I'm very interested in doing now that I'm only self-employed. Yes, off you go then. To bed with you. Have a good night. It was nice seeing you, dude. Hopefully you'll pop in on the regular. I'm planning to stream so Monday, Wednesday, Friday, North America time. A bit earlier than I started today. by like 2 hours and going for 2 or 3 hours a day on those 3 days. I was streaming 5 days a week, but I can't swing the time. I've got too much going on, and it was taking away from those things. So I will definitely check that out. I've got it tabbed over there. I'm gonna take a look at it this afternoon, hopefully. Yeah. So take care, dude. Again, really nice seeing you. I might have to take off fairly soon too, but oh, I was talking about Joe and Crazy Stacy. I ended up the three of us, Joe, Stacy, and I, moved out of that apartment and got a different, smaller place. The three of us, when Bert decided to jack up the rents for no particular reason, and we said, "F you, buddy," and left. Buying a bathtub? I have a bathtub. Are you saying I look unwashed? I haven't shaved recently. I only shave when this stuff gets long enough that it kind of bothers me or starts to look a bit natty. I shave all of it at once. Yeah, no, I have a bathtub. I have a shower and a bathtub and another shower. At the moment, I live in a fairly sizable 4-bedroom apartment with my wife and my youngest son. So we've got the master bedroom with an ensuite that has a bathtub and a shower. Oh, is this this is a Twitch thing? As I ramble about my plumbing fixtures. Okay, so explain the bathtub thing then, please, because yes, I am new on Twitch. I don't Twitch, haven't twitched for long. I if I have too much coffee, I twitch a bit, but here, I tell you what. Oh, okay. A hot tub stream. That's that what you're getting at? I knew about that. I just didn't make the connection. Nobody, and I mean nobody, wants to see me in a hot tub. Nobody wants to see. I'd have to get the floating shark and the water wings, and I I don't think I have a bikini top that fits anymore. Um, Too much. Yeah, let's put it this way. I've always been a fairly stocky, fairly hairy dude, and I'm formerly a chef. My wife is a baker and cake decorator. Yeah, I've made an effort to keep myself under 200 pounds, but that's the best I can say. Why would I say that? Because I've seen myself in the mirror. Um, I understand there's different strokes for. No, I'm not doing a hot tub stream. Ain't gonna happen. Um, it's not. That's not. Some people are into. Yeah, I don't think anyone's into me being in a hot tub. If I did a hot tub stream, I'd keep my camera pretty much the same as it is now. So you'd be like, it'd be maybe like this. Here's me in the hot tub. Splash, 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 splash. Hi, I'm in a hot tub. That's about all the hot tubbing I would be doing, I think. Yeah, I actually thought I'd browse around the Twitcherverse and see what kind of streams were streaming and what people were doing in other parts of the ecosystem. This is something I often do as well. I find a platform or I find a tool or a piece of software, and then I bend it to my will and make it do what I want it to do without having any idea what other people use it for. Um, so like I know there aren't very many writing streams on Twitch compared to like other types of streams. I know there are some, but I know they're not very numerous compared to others. And I thought, well, might be interesting, might be fun. Somebody might be interested in watching it, so I started it. Um, I once used Moodle, which is a electronic learning system, like an online education platform, writing from my bathtub. I need a waterproof keyboard for that. Um, I use Moodle to set up a an online platform for collaborative writing projects at one point, and it was definitely not designed for that. And I had to do a lot of messing around on the back end, and I wrote a bunch of code for it, and sort of bodged something together, MacGyvered it together so it kind of worked the way I wanted it to, even though it was not meant for that. And then I realized that maybe I should look a little further afield and find something that was meant for it. Figured out how to use WordPress and some forum plugins and a few other things, and it was just easy peasy snap together. And worked better than the thing I had put together as well, which for me was more important. But yeah, a WordPress install with a forum plugin was much more effective than the custom coded version of Moodle that I'd put together. But I enjoyed learning about it and making it work. I like that kind of thing, that sort of original version of hacking, what it used to mean. Getting something to work the way you want it to, even though it wasn't really designed for that. I really do enjoy that. It's very frustrating, and therefore, when it does end up working, very satisfying. But I wrote a word today. He. All right, I'll tell you what, guys. I am going to try and get a couple hundred words here and have this conversation written by the end of my stream today. And I'm thinking that gives me, I was thinking 12:30, which was 3 minutes ago. Um, hmm. All right, I'm gonna do a bit of writing on my new keyboard because I did say that's what I was gonna do. I I will, by the way, be sticking as close as possible from now on to my stream schedule. Yes, yes, yes. Um, I've put a schedule on my profile: Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Well, my Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday actually, but I'm gonna stick to that schedule. I don't have anything else stream related that I need to set up. I missed a couple because I was working on getting this Discord server going, which I've now done, and I don't think I'm going to need to do any major work on it now. I've got it. I think I've got it set up the way I want it for the most part. I might add a few things here and there, figure a couple things out, maybe a bot or two. We'll see, but for the most part, it is the way it's going to be. I think. If anyone has any suggestions for things to add to it, by the way, or ways to make it more fun or more interesting or whatever, I'm all ears. There's a suggestions channel for that purpose. So yeah, I'll be scheduling regularly. I'll be sticking to my schedule. I'll be streaming regularly. I'll be sticking to my schedule. I should be able to do that ongoing. My green card application stuff is all done. Now it's just waiting. So I don't need to spend a day going down to the entry-exit bureau and talking to the people there. Nice as they are, I'll be glad not to have to talk to them several times a week. That's done. The Discord server is set up. I got way behind on some of my client work, my voice work for clients, last week when my son was ill for a couple of days and we had to make those trips down to the entry-exit bureau. And so I've gotten caught up on that stuff for the most part. My to-do list is more or less where it should be right now, with one or two minor exceptions that hopefully I can clear up today or tomorrow. So I'm kind of caught up. I'm on track with where I should be in my schedule. So I should be able to stick to my streaming schedule a bit more reliably ongoing. I feel badly that I missed like 2 or 3 or 4 scheduled streams. I've missed you guys actually while I was missing those streams. So it's good to be back. Good to see you and chat with you. Okay, yes, back to work. Writing. Wonder what I should name this dog. Hmm. Did I call him Skiv? Was that his name? Yeah. I gotta check my names. It was very. Hmm. I guess I'll go with American spellings. Hi. Oh, Candlelight Editing. Hey, welcome to the chat. Um, how's the writing going? Finally, it's going. Uh, I know this is tagged as a writing stream, but I tend not to get very much writing done. There's a lot of people distracting me, which is fine. That's why I do this. Right, Chris? Um, First time chat. I don't know if it's your first time viewing as well, but I'm Mike. Hi. I'm a writer writing a novel. Uh, this is Chris from Poland. Introduce yourself, actually. Let us know who you are and are you a writer as well? If so, what are you working on? If not, are you a reader? What do you like to read? Uh, okay, I'll fix this later. First drafting. Hmm. 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 I don't think I want to put quotes on a navigation is not my strong point. A copy editor. Then you have my apologies. My typing is atrocious, and my attention to detail is lacking. Fantasy, horror, and gothic fiction. Oh, well, this is the place for you then. Um, the story I'm working on right now is a detective novel set in fake Victorian or a Victorian feel magical world with demons and monsters and things. The monsters are called moths, although they aren't moths. They are about 2 meters tall, say 6'2", 6'3", thin in the middle with big leathery wings that they wrap around their prey, mostly humans, which they catch by emitting hallucinogenic pheromones of some sort. And they wrap them up in their wings and then puncture them with all their little tentacles and things and suck all their fluids out. And our main character, Detective Frank Berg, is convinced that someone is doing this all on purpose, that there's some sort of a conspiracy. So, Geek Man is 2 words. All right. It is today. So, yeah, that's the story I'm working on at the moment. I've got a few others sort of in the hopper waiting to go, but I started this as a NaNoWriMo novel, but got angry with the nano people again and stopped doing it as that, but I'm still writing it, so. Copy editor. I assume that's professionally, like you that's your day job. I don't know of anyone who's a copy editor as a hobby, so I suppose that's what that means. Pardon me, I'm a bit fuzzy in the head today. I'm I'm always up for beta readers. Actually, if you're looking for a place to hang out and talk about reading and writing and all those things, um, oh, there's Chris with the Discord. There we go. Yeah, I just set up a Discord server for my Twitch friends here, and now that I've set it up and announced it here, I'll let the rest of the world know on my other platforms like Facebook and that sort of thing. Hoping the Discord will be a place to talk about books and TV and movies and writing and craft related things to do with writing, and hopefully we'll have a book club going there, and a critique, sort of a critique circle-y kind of a thing where people can post excerpts and get feedback from other community members. I am going to have to do some sort of a little video blurb to put on YouTube or something, talking about how to give and how to receive criticism, what constructive criticism is versus what it isn't, and how to give it and how to take it and all of those things. Because those, in my experience, I was a writing teacher for almost 20 years. In my experience there, that's one of the hardest things to get across to new writers and to students and, well, to people in general, is what constructive criticism is, how to give constructive criticism in a way that makes it useful for the person you're giving it to, and for the person receiving it, how to accept it, how to take criticism, and how to use it. So, I know you will, Chris. I know you're on it. You're on it, absolutely. And by all means, feel free to subscribe to the stream too. I will be streaming Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I assume you're in North America somewhere. Maybe I shouldn't assume that, but I'm in China. I live in China for the past. Oh, there we go. Thanks for the follow. Hey, and a ding and a candlelight editing now following. Huzzah! Yeah, so I stream my time. It's Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday mornings for 2 to 3 hours usually. It's been a bit dodgy on the schedule recently, but so in North America that would be Monday, Wednesday, Friday evening. So hopefully, not hopefully, I will be sticking to my schedule much more actively than I have been the past little while. And yeah, I'm sort of coming up on the end of the chat. I've got to go and eat a meal and stuff. It's 1:00 and we haven't had lunch yet. So, but the chat is usually quite active. We cover a lot of stuff, do writing advice things, and having someone with a copy editing background could be real nice to have in the chat as well. Offer perspectives, and I imagine, especially given that if you work with indie writers, you've seen a lot. I know you have. I still do technically, but we're not active at the moment. But a small collectivist publishing venture. We put out three anthologies of short fiction, and so I've worked as an editor, as a copy editor, doing structural edits with new writers, indie writers as well. I know, you know. So that's a very useful perspective to bring to the table. I'm very happy that you're here. I mean, I'm happy that everyone's here, but I'm very happy that you're here. The Discord server, if you do sign on, will question, is that you? In the roles channel, there's some options for different sections. Those just sort of enable the different sections. Hello, will question. You look very familiar. You look like somebody I went to university with, actually. A specific person I'm thinking of, very much like him. in the community section in the roles channel, there's you can choose your display color as you like, and then there's the sections selection, any or all of them. There's 4 readers, writers, book clubbers, critique groups. It's little descriptions there. Choosing one of those will open up that section of the server for you. So. Oh, pending. There we go. There we go. Oh, sure. I just noticed that Nini added me on Discord as a friend. I like friends. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, I was going to get Frank into this building here. I'll, you know what? Oh, yeah, no, Scrivener is great. I can't imagine using anything else for fiction specifically, or and anything with more than a couple of scenes. Even if there's only one scene, I tend to use it just because that's what I use. Um, there. Okay. I'm going to call that a day for the writing. I think it is definitely time for lunch. So, I'm glad you joined Candlelight Editing. Nice to see you. Thanks to everybody who joined. I think everyone's mostly gone except Chris and Candlelight Editing. But thanks for coming, guys, folks, people. I don't like to assume pronouns. Hopefully see you in a couple of days in the next stream. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget the dingly danglies down there. Oh, you're still here, Silent Author. Hi, sorry. Thanks for coming by too. And thanks for asking some interesting questions about time travel stories. I enjoy that kind of thing. Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, dingly danglies, all the subscribey stuff. Discord server on one of my panels on my on my Twitch profile. There's a link to the Discord server. Feel free to join if you're watching on the VOD section or what have you. Jump in the Discord and join the community. We can chat any old time, not just when I'm live. And yeah, see you next time. I'll because Candlelight Editing is here, and I need very little excuse to do this. I will play my book trailer for you. There was no audio? What? Okay. Let me see here. I wonder. Okay, you should still be able to hear me there. Okay, I'm going to pause that. Let me see if I can figure out why there's no audio. Properties. There should be audio. Don't want to loop it. Active speed, yes. Color range, no. Okay, cancel. Yeah, that's strange. Let me, it's not muted. Oh. There we go. So let me,
There are monsters loose in the city. People are dying, and Detective Inspector Frank Berg is convinced the attacks are not as random as they appear. Now he must follow a web of lies and secrets that leads all the way back to a past he thought he'd left behind. He just hopes he can find the truth before he loses his mind.
yeah, it is actually a fairly Lovecraftian kind of a vibe, actually. Very much so. Same time period, different continent, but yeah. That may not be surprising. My primary income at the moment is from working as a freelance voice artist. I do audiobook narration and like YouTube video voiceovers and things like that, mostly. And I'm producing my own audiobook versions of classic novels and things. And right now I'm in the editing stages of the first third or first quarter of Lovecraft's collected works. So it's perhaps no surprise that there's a bit of a Lovecrafty vibe to it, but it's that kind of story. It's sort of like a creeping horror, detective mystery, dark, gritty, with magic and demonic forces and things kind of situation. So, yeah. I was definitely going for the Lovecrafty kind of. I'm writing you this on the tail end of an adventure that I never thought I'd have. I must write quickly before the madness takes me. Stuff like that. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. I was pretty pleased with how the cover turned out, too. The skull doesn't really have much to do with the story, other than, death and horror and blah, scary stuff. But I'd like it, so I might probably keep it, probably. Quick question, actually, before I go. Yeah, I signed off and did all that stuff already, so whatever. But do you write as well? Because one thing we do here, writing sprints. Word sprints, yay. Word sprint. Yee. Sometimes we do word sprints when we have some writers in the chat that are working on stuff. Usually we just talk about writing instead of doing it, but sometimes we do it too. Okay, anyway. I need to stretch my back out. Tired. So, again, yes, thank you for coming. Thanks for joining. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate that. And certainly hope to see you next time and see you in the Discord. I think it was Chris's idea to set up the Discord in the first place. Thanks for that, by the way, too. I have really high hopes for this Discord server. I'm hoping that we can build something really kind of useful to a lot of people and welcoming and build a community, a distributed community of people who write and read and like stories. So, yeah, anyway, off I go. I can hear my wife banging around in the kitchen, so I suppose I should go help and get lunch ready. Cool. All right. See you next time. No, which one was that? That was this one. There we go. Haha. I can't remember which buttons I have set to what sometimes, so I always talk over this part, even though I'm not supposed to.